I think it's important for like specifically independent films to be screened in theaters just so it can get a larger audience and people take
Yeah.
it more seriously. And I feel like when people stream movies, they might not like stream independent movies. They might just stream like the more blockbuster ones. I think they're more willing to take a chance when they go to a theater because it's like on a bigger screen and they're with people.
Good day, filmmaker, actor, and activist Ben Steinberg. Would you take on that label, activist, Ben? Are you happy about that?
I guess so, yeah. I never thought about it like that. Yeah.
So, you are currently doing a lot of things. You're making films. Your short HIKIKOMORI came out, I think, last year, and it's fantastic. It's available for streaming on Vimeo. It's just a surreal experience. You're also working on a campaign to help save Cinerama Dome. But before we talk about all that, how did you decide to get into film and acting? Did you know right away, or was it something that came on gradually?
I've always been interested in film like ever since I was like a little kid. And I started off acting and I was on 2 episodes of Brooklyn Nine-Nine when I
Oh,
was like
yeah.
13, and then I slowly started directing like my own stuff, just like simple like videos or like short films, and then each short film I make gets more advanced and more professional and yeah.
That's fantastic. So you're also leading the charge, as I mentioned, to save Cinerama Dome. How did you wind up leading that campaign?
So it was 2020 and I was the first to hear the news that the ArcLight wasn't reopening. So within the first 10 minutes, I created a petition just to
Hell
reopen
yeah.
the Panorama Dome because I wasn't sure. Like I didn't know anything. I just knew it wasn't opening. And over the last 4 years, through like research and media outlets, I learned that the company Decurion still owns the property, and it seems like it hasn't been confirmed that they're not like selling the property to anyone else, and they don't want to reopen it. And each year it's been getting delayed. So, like in 2021, it was supposed to open in 2022, and it's just been getting delayed every single year. So, I just think it's really frustrating.
Have they communicated to you why? Is that the tax thing that they're doing this for?
I haven't contacted them like directly. I just spoke with the property
Right.
manager on site and he told me there's no plans to reopen it. But I spoke to some other sources and they said they do have plans to reopen it. Like when I called them, they didn't tell me anything else. So it's been strange.
And frustrating as if people follow your Instagram, I'll link it in the show notes. It opened like briefly, you were able to see go in and get some video of what it's like inside
Yeah,
now.
they opened it. They're filming the TV show Elle, which is the prequel to Legally Blonde. For it's like a TV show they're making, and they I guess they somehow convinced or they just paid Decurion to open it for them to film for the night, and then
Right.
now it's back to being boarded up.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. And on your Instagram, it just shows like the beautiful visuals from outside. It's like, why isn't this open? I share your frustration, but let's try to understand like why indie filmmakers should care about a theater. When I was coming up with questions to ask, it dawned on me that most of the films, unfortunately, that indie filmmakers make are viewed on a computer, viewed on a laptop, viewed on streaming a TV. Why do you think it's important for theaters to be open?
I think it's important for like specifically independent films to be screened in theaters just so it can get a larger audience and people take
Yeah.
it more seriously. And I feel like when people stream movies, they might not like stream independent movies. They might just stream like the more blockbuster ones. I think they're more willing to take a chance when they go to a theater because it's like on a bigger screen and they're with people.
And it's like a signaling, right? Of like when it appears in theaters, people think this must be an important movie. This must be a good movie because it made it from whatever step it takes to just be streaming to an actual theater, even if it is like some distributor just paying for the theater. It's not that complicated, but I think it takes it for a fan to that next level when a film screens at a theater.
Yeah, people take it more seriously.
Fantastic. So you, like I said, you bring street cred to this fight. You're not just like a guy think, oh, I want to keep the theater open. You're a great filmmaker of your own right. I got a chance to watch Hikikomori on streaming on Vimeo. I suggest if people haven't watched it, press pause on this, go watch it. It's 20 minutes that you'll love. It's surreal, like it's all over the map. How did you come up? You wrote, directed the film. First of all, how did you come up with the concept, and then how did you bring it to life in such a beautiful way?
I came up with the concept with the idea of someone having never left their bedroom for 8 years. And then I was inspired by the movie, like I was inspired by The Lobster and Lars and the Real Girl. Those two
Right.
movies. Those are some of my favorite movies.
And so you wrote it, and then just worked through. Was it crowdfunded? Did you self fund? Like how did it screen?
I self funded it myself, and then the crew were people I found through school networks, and then I cut it myself, so I was the editor.
That's awesome.
And yeah, I submitted it to film festivals, and it was crazy because it got to screen at the TCL Chinese Theater on Hollywood Boulevard, so that was
Oh,
amazing.
cool.
And then it's screening in New York City this summer at the Angelica Theater.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like all over the place in a good way. Like I'm just what's going on, and I think that shorts should challenge you, right? You only have 15 to 20 minutes. If you lay it out and somebody watches it and they don't take anything that challenges them away from it, then it's like you've wasted their time. Wasn't that part of it? Is it like you wanted to challenge your audience deeply about the film?
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
fantastic. So Ben, what is next for you? Like you mentioned, the film is screening in New York later this summer. Do you have any other projects in the works that you want to talk about?
I'm working on some other projects. I was thinking of creating like a documentary about trying to save the Cinerama Dome, but
You got to, right?
yeah, but some of it might get complicated. Yeah, just like legally, and yeah, I don't know because it's not technically like fully abandoned. It's still owned by a company, so I don't want to create, but definitely something about the Cinerama Dome, a documentary just to
Okay.
document like the last 4 years I've done. I think it would be really cool as a documentary, or even like just writing an article or book or something. And then for movies, I do have a movie planned that I'm still working on, and then just doing more research on the Cinerama Dome and trying to get it to reopen. I think either through public pressure, like putting pressure on the company to reopen it,
Yeah.
because I know they're trying to stay like in the shadows, like they don't want to be
Right.
talked about. And just I just need to stay organized and contact like media outlets and just see if they're willing to report on it, because so far not really, no one's really reporting on it.
That's awesome. And Ben, from your IMDb, it has his friends call him an encyclopedia of classic and contemporary films. Is that you're like basically your own IMDb for like your friends in terms of it? Is it just like mainstream studio films? Is it independent films? Is it just basically having close to a great memory of almost everything you've watched?
Pretty much, yeah. I'd say maybe more Wikipedia instead of IMDb because I use Wikipedia more.
Oh, that's fantastic, Ben. So I'm going to ask you here a question that I think is going to get a fantastic answer, which
Hmm.
is indie film podcast, love hyping other people's projects. You're obviously supportive of the independent studio, indie filmmakers. Is there an indie film or filmmaker that you wish more people knew about?
I've been watching a lot of like older short films for some like from
Okay.
the early 2000s,
Ooh,
and
I
one of
love
my
that.
favorite directors, I he wrote some feature films. I don't think he's ever directed them, but I like his short films. It's Vince Meglio.
Okay.
I follow him on Letterbox, and
Ooh.
he's on Vimeo too. And yeah, he also has like video essays too, like on Steven Spielberg. And yeah, he's really interesting. Yeah.
Isn't it super frustrating for you? Like, I go back and I look at some of the short films, especially, and it's some features as well, in like Oscars, like even nominated for an Oscar from 4 or 5 years ago. And you look at like their IMDb, and like they have not been able to make another film since. And I just wonder, like, you've won the most prestigious award that film has, and it's still a struggle. What is that like? You're obviously going back and watching older short films for a reason. So, what does that tell you about the film industry, that it's just super hard to get stuff made?
Yeah, I think it's crazy because I know the director of The Brutalist said he's like not making any money off of it.
Right. Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
I think I'm sure there's like money in like blockbuster movies. There has to, because like they make $1 billion. And like I know the director of Twisters was like the director of Minari, I think. So
yeah,
I think if you're able to direct like the big studio movies, you should be fine.
right.
Not turn them down, because I know Marvel tries to get a lot of those directors, but like some directors might turn them down. I'm not sure.
Fingers crossed on Cinerama Dome. I hope you'll come back to talk on the podcast if the petition is works. Are you planning? Are you looking for other investors to possibly purchase it? Are you looking to just convince them to reopen it? All the above.
Yeah, no, it's not a money issue. It's the
Yeah.
company. It's their family built it back in 1963, so I don't
Ah,
think they want to get rid of it. And
I
yeah,
see. So you're just hopeful that they come around to the idea of reopening it.
yeah, because I think there was a quote about the CEO saying for his businesses, he only wants it to be like excellent and not like he wants to redefine the movie theater. Because I know when ArcLight opened for the first time in the
Right.
early 2000s, they were the first theater in the world to have reserved seating and like a restaurant and ushers and someone to greet everyone. So I
Right.
feel like he's trying to think of ways to reinvent it, but I think it was totally fine as it is, and he should just reopen it as it was.
Hell yeah. I hope you'll come back and chat when it is reopened. I think all the indie film community is cheering for you. I read that recent article on your efforts. I hope that you got a lot of inquiries after that article about how to help. Everybody's cheering for you. And go watch Hikikomori. Go sign the petition. Ben Steinberg, thanks for joining me today on the
Thank you so
podcast.
much.